Silence is often misunderstood in today's world where everyone feels the need to speak, to react, to respond immediately to every situation. Yet true strength is not in raising your voice, but in holding it back when necessary. Silence is not weakness, it is self-control. It is the quiet confidence that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. When you stay silent, you allow your presence, your actions, and your discipline to communicate on your behalf. People often confuse silence with submission, but in reality, silence is mastery. It is the ability to remain calm while chaos surrounds you, to remain composed when provoked, and to stay grounded when others lose control. Silence is the tool of the wise, the shield of the strong, and the weapon of the disciplined. In silence, you find clarity. Words can sometimes cloud the mind, create unnecessary conflict, and open doors that should remain closed. But when you practice silence, you create space to reflect, to understand yourself better, and to see situations as they truly are. Silence is the space where wisdom grows. It allows you to step back, observe, and respond not with emotion, but with purpose. This is why silence is not emptiness, but rather fullness. It is filled with awareness, filled with self-control, and filled with understanding. When you do not rush to speak, you gain the ability to listen deeply, not just to others, but also to yourself. Your intuition becomes sharper, your perception becomes clearer, and your decisions become stronger. Silence is also protection. When you choose not to react to provocation, you protect your peace. When you choose not to explain yourself to those who misunderstand you, you protect your energy. And when you choose not to argue with those committed to misunderstanding you, you protect your focus. There is no need to waste time defending yourself to people who are determined not to see the truth. Instead, silence shields you from draining conflicts and keeps you aligned with your path. You learn to rise above the noise and stay centered in your purpose. Silence keeps you unshaken, and that unshakable nature is what makes others respect you even more. It takes real strength to be silent when you have every reason to speak. It takes discipline to stay calm when you are challenged. The easy response is to argue, to fight back, to let anger lead, but that is not strength. It is weakness disguised as power. True strength is when you can stand in silence, fully aware of your ability to respond, yet choosing not to. That is self-mastery. That is leadership. Because the strongest people are not those who control others, but those who control themselves. Silence is proof that you are in control of your emotions and not the other way around. It proves that you don't move based on impulses, but based on intention. The world teaches us to shout louder, to demand attention, to constantly explain and justify ourselves. But silence teaches us to trust in timing, to trust in actions, to trust in the unseen forces that are working for us. When you are silent, you stop forcing outcomes and allow life to unfold naturally. You no longer try to prove your worth through words, because your growth, your actions, and your results prove it for you. And in that stillness, you discover that silence is not about doing nothing. It is about doing everything with precision, awareness, and strength. The energy is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it is often spent carelessly on things that bring no growth or fulfillment. Every argument, every unnecessary conversation, every attempt to prove yourself to someone who refuses to understand you drains your energy little by little. When you begin to understand the true value of your energy, you start becoming selective about where you place it. You realize that energy wasted on negativity could have been invested into your dreams, your health, your relationships, and your personal growth. Managing your energy is not about avoiding challenges, but about choosing wisely which battles are worth fighting and which ones are distractions meant to pull you away from your path. When you stop giving your energy to drama and chaos, you begin to feel a shift inside you. Your mind becomes clearer, your body feels lighter, and your spirit feels more at peace. You begin to notice how much stronger and more productive you are when your energy is focused inward instead of scattered outward. Many people wonder why they feel exhausted even when they haven't done much physically. It's because mental and emotional energy leaks are often more draining than physical work. Engaging in gossip, holding grudges, arguing endlessly, or trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. All of these deplete you silently until you have nothing left for yourself. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries, not because you are cold or distant, but because you are wise enough to know what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Focusing your energy on yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you responsible. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot build a strong future if you're constantly drained by the past or by other people's issues. When you direct your energy toward self-improvement, you notice the transformation in every area of life. Your mind sharpens when you feed it with knowledge and positivity. Your body strengthens when you fuel it with proper care and discipline. Your soul finds peace when you surround it with silence and gratitude. This is how energy, when managed properly, becomes the foundation of growth. The difference between those who move forward in life and those who remain stuck often lies in how they manage their energy. There is also a power that comes from conserving your energy for the right time. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every action needs to be taken immediately. And not every person deserves a reaction. The ability to hold your energy back until it is most effective is what separates the disciplined from the distracted. When you refuse to waste your energy on people who don't matter, you preserve it for the opportunities that do. And when those opportunities come, you have the strength, focus, and clarity to seize them fully. Energy is like currency. The more you waste it on meaningless things, the less you have for the things that can actually change your life. Protecting your energy also means being mindful of the environments you place yourself in. Surroundings influence energy more than most realize. If you are constantly around negativity, it will drain you no matter how strong you think you are. But when you surround yourself with people, places, and habits that uplift you, your energy multiplies. You begin to feel more motivated, more aligned, more alive. Energy is contagious, so managing it is not just about what you hold inside, but also about what you allow around you. By removing yourself from toxic cycles and aligning with positive influences, you create a flow of energy that supports your growth rather than hinders it. The truth is, you only have a limited amount of energy each day. You cannot afford to waste it on everything and everyone. You must protect it, direct it, and use it wisely. Every choice you make, every conversation you engage in, every thought you entertain is either an investment of your energy or a loss of it. The more intentional you become with this investment, the more powerful and unstoppable you become in creating the life you desire. Focus is one of the greatest tools you can develop because where your attention goes, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, results begin to appear. Clarity is born the moment you choose to direct your focus inward instead of scattering it outward. Too often, People spend their days chasing the approval of others, comparing themselves to what everyone else is doing, and distracting themselves with noise that has no real benefit for their growth. This kind of scattered focus creates confusion, frustration, and a sense of being lost. But when you choose to focus only on yourself, on your vision, on your discipline, everything starts to look different. Life becomes simpler, not because it is easier, but because your energy is no longer wasted on things that are irrelevant to your journey. Directing your attention inward allows you to notice things about yourself that you may have overlooked. It allows you to see your strengths clearly and acknowledge your weaknesses honestly. When your focus is on others, you lose touch with your own truth. But when your focus is on yourself, you gain clarity about what you really want, what truly matters, and what direction you should be taking. Focus creates alignment. It filters out the noise, silences distractions, and makes space for you to listen to your inner voice. That inner voice has always been guiding you, but it often gets drowned out by the endless chatter of the outside world. When you finally tune back in, clarity comes naturally. There is also a discipline that comes with focus. When you are clear about your priorities, you stop chasing everything at once and start building step by step. Focus helps you say no to things that do not serve your purpose, even if they are tempting in the moment. It helps you stay patient during the process, knowing that what you are building requires consistency more than speed. Without focus, energy gets scattered into many directions and progress feels slow. With focus, even small actions compound into big results because every effort is aligned with your bigger vision. This is why focus is not just about what you look at, but also about what you ignore. The ability to ignore distractions is as important as the ability to pay attention to what matters. Clarity through focus also brings peace. When you are unsure of your path, life feels overwhelming, but when you know exactly what you are working toward, there is a sense of calm in your steps. Each day becomes more meaningful because you know where your energy is going. You stop comparing your progress with others because you are no longer distracted by their journey. Your eyes are fixed on your own lane, your own growth, your own purpose. This focus creates confidence because the more you see yourself making progress, the more certain you become about your ability to achieve bigger things. Confidence is not built by looking at what others are doing. It is built by proving to yourself day after day that you are capable of moving forward. Focus also has the power to attract opportunities. When you are clear about what you want, you begin to notice doors opening that you would have missed before. People sense when someone is focused and aligned, and they are naturally drawn to that energy. This is why focus not only shapes your internal clarity, but also influences your external reality. The right people, the right chances, and the right circumstances tend to align with someone who knows exactly where they are going. It is as if the universe supports those who are committed and consistent with their direction. Without focus, opportunities pass unnoticed. With focus, you are ready to recognize and embrace them. Living with clarity through focus doesn't mean that you won't face challenges. It means that even when challenges arise, you know why you are enduring them. You know what you are building, and you understand that difficulties are part of the process. This mindset prevents you from giving up easily. It reminds you that progress may be slow at times, but it is progress nonetheless. Focus gives you the vision to see beyond temporary setbacks and stay committed to the bigger picture you are working toward. It transforms confusion into certainty, distraction into discipline, and hesitation into confidence. Growth does not require loud declarations or endless explanations. It requires quiet consistency and dedication. When you truly focus on improving yourself, the progress you make becomes the evidence others cannot deny. You no longer feel the urge to convince people of your worth, because your actions and your results naturally speak on your behalf. This is the difference between seeking validation and building transformation. Validation depends on the opinions of others, but transformation is undeniable because it is visible. When you put in the work consistently, over time your growth becomes too obvious to ignore, and it speaks louder than any words ever could. There is a strength in choosing to let your actions tell the story instead of your voice. People may doubt you, underestimate you, or even laugh at your ambitions, but when you dedicate yourself to growth, their opinions lose power. It becomes clear that the ones who spend their time talking are rarely the ones doing the work, and the ones who are truly committed to building don't need to explain themselves constantly. Growth is proof. It is silent, steady, and undeniable. When your habits improve, when your mindset sharpens, when your achievements start to show, others notice without you having to say a word. You stop needing to argue, defend, or convince, because the evidence is already there. This truth applies to every area of life. In your career, your skills will demonstrate your value more than your promises. In your health, your discipline will show results that words could never match. In your relationships, your consistency and loyalty will say more than any explanation. In your personal development, your confidence and maturity will reveal the effort you've put into yourself. Everywhere you go, your growth becomes your silent introduction. It becomes the reflection of your discipline, your resilience, and your character. And the beauty of this is that no one can take it away from you. Words can be doubted, but results cannot. When you rely on growth to speak for you, you also free yourself from the endless cycle of seeking approval. You stop being controlled by the need for recognition because you understand that recognition is not the goal. Progress is. Many people exhaust themselves trying to be seen, trying to be noticed, trying to convince others of their worth. But this only leads to frustration. The ones who rise the highest are those who quietly put their heads down and work on themselves day after day, trusting that the results will eventually reveal the truth. This approach brings peace because it shifts your focus away from opinions and toward progress. The less you explain yourself, the more you can invest that time and energy into becoming better. Growth also builds respect in ways words never could. People may ignore what you say, but they cannot ignore what you become. They may argue with your perspective, but they cannot argue with your progress. Respect does not come from demanding it. It comes from earning it, and you earn it through consistent growth. The silent transformation you undergo has the power to shift how others see you. Not because you force them to, but because they cannot deny the evidence right in front of them. Growth commands attention naturally, and the respect that comes with it is genuine because it is based on what you have proven through action. The most powerful thing about allowing growth to speak is that it changes you from the inside out. As you begin to see yourself improving, your confidence grows without the need for external validation. You no longer rely on people to tell you who you are because you already know. You can see the progress in your own life, And that becomes your greatest source of motivation. Growth not only silences the doubts of others, it silences your own. Every step forward becomes proof that you are capable, that you are resilient, that you are moving in the right direction. This creates momentum that no amount of criticism or disbelief can stop. Because once growth has spoken, no words are necessary. Peace is one of the greatest treasures a person can possess. Yet it is often the first thing sacrificed when people engage in conflict, arguments, and unnecessary drama. Choosing peace over chaos is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of maturity and wisdom. It means understanding that not every situation requires your involvement. Not every opinion needs your response. And not every action against you deserves a reaction. When you decide to prioritize peace, you begin to notice how much lighter life feels. You no longer carry the weight of grudges, the exhaustion of endless debates, or the burden of trying to prove yourself to those who will never understand. Peace creates space for growth, clarity, and inner strength, while chaos only distracts and drains you. The world is filled with noise, both external and internal. External noise comes from people who criticize, gossip, and spread negativity. Internal noise comes from overthinking, doubting yourself, and holding on to past wounds. When you embrace peace, you learn to silence both forms of noise. You recognize that you cannot control what others say or do, but you can control how you respond. By choosing not to engage in unnecessary conflict, you protect your energy and keep your mind focused on what truly matters. Peace is not the absence of problems, it is the ability to remain calm and centered, even in the middle of them. It allows you to rise above chaos instead of being consumed by it. Peace is also a reflection of strength, because it takes discipline to stay calm when everything around you is pushing you to react. It is easy to get pulled into arguments, to lash out when provoked, or to fight back when challenged, but it takes true strength to remain silent and composed. This kind of restraint is not about letting others win. It is about refusing to lose yourself in the process. The moment you realize that protecting your peace is more important than proving a point, you begin to operate from a higher level of self-control. Chaos thrives when it has your attention, but when you choose peace, chaos loses its power over you. Living in peace also sharpens your perspective. When your mind is calm, you see things more clearly. You are no longer clouded by anger, resentment, or frustration. This clarity helps you make better decisions and prevents you from making mistakes that could cost you more than the initial conflict ever would. Chaos often pushes people into impulsive actions they later regret, but peace allows you to pause, reflect, and act with wisdom. It teaches you patience, it strengthens your character, and it aligns you with the path that truly serves you. Peace is not passive. It is powerful because it allows you to respond with intention instead of reaction. Another gift of choosing peace over chaos is the impact it has on your overall well-being. Stress, anger, and constant conflict drain not only your mind, but also your body. They weigh heavily on your health, your sleep, and your spirit. But peace restores balance. It calms your heart, clears your thoughts, and strengthens your resilience. A peaceful mind creates a healthier body, and a healthier body creates the strength to keep pursuing your goals. Chaos, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in cycles of exhaustion and distraction, preventing you from ever fully focusing on your growth. Protecting your peace means protecting every part of yourself. Mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, peace also creates better connections with others. When you are grounded and calm, you are able to nurture healthier relationships. You no longer need to dominate conversations or prove your worth in arguments. Instead, you show up with patience, understanding, and confidence. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate peace because it is a rare quality in a world full of noise. By choosing peace, you not only elevate your own life, but also become an example for others, showing them that calmness is not weakness, but strength in its purest form. In this way, peace becomes both a shield and a light, protecting you from chaos, while guiding you toward a life of deeper meaning and fulfillment. Alignment is something that happens naturally when you remain committed to yourself, your vision, and your inner growth. Life has a way of arranging circumstances, opportunities, and people around you when you stay focused on the path that belongs to you. It may not always happen in the timeline you expect, but when you refuse to be distracted by what others are doing or saying, everything begins to fall into place in ways that almost feel effortless. Alignment does not mean that life suddenly becomes perfect. It means that life begins to reflect the energy you put into it. The more you stay true to yourself, the more the right doors open, the more the right people appear, and the more clarity you find about your direction. When you live out of alignment, you constantly feel resistance. You feel like you are forcing things that are not meant for you, chasing people who do not belong in your life, or pursuing goals that don't resonate with your true self. This resistance often brings frustration, confusion, and disappointment. But when you realign with yourself, by focusing inward, listening to your intuition, and following the discipline of self-growth, life begins to flow more naturally. You no longer need to push as hard, because the right things start to come toward you. This is the beauty of alignment. It is not about chasing, it is about attracting. What belongs to you will find you when you are ready for it, and being ready comes from staying faithful to your personal journey. Alignment is also about trust. It is about trusting that the path you are walking, even if it feels uncertain at times, is leading you where you are meant to go. When you are distracted by comparison, you begin to doubt your path. But alignment brings reassurance. It reminds you that your timing is not supposed to look like anyone else's. The opportunities you need, the lessons you must learn, and the people who are meant to help you will all arrive when the moment is right. You cannot rush alignment, and you cannot force it. It is something that unfolds when you are consistent, disciplined, and focused on becoming the best version of yourself without trying to control every detail of how and when things happen. Another powerful part of alignment is how it changes your perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you begin to see them as redirections. Instead of viewing delays as punishment, you begin to understand them as preparation. When you are aligned, you realize that not everything falling apart is a loss. Sometimes it is clearing space for something better to arrive. Alignment brings peace because it helps you accept what is happening in the present while staying hopeful about what is coming in the future. This mindset frees you from unnecessary stress because you no longer feel the need to fight against the current. You learn to move with it, trusting that it is taking you exactly where you need to be. Alignment also reflects in the relationships you attract. When you are true to yourself, you naturally draw people who resonate with your energy. Toxic relationships begin to fall away, not because you fought them off, but because they no longer match the version of you that you are becoming. At the same time, supportive, Genuine and uplifting people begin to appear in your life because your growth has created space for them. Alignment works like a filter. It removes what is not meant for you and replaces it with what truly belongs. This applies not only to relationships, but also to opportunities, environments, and experiences. Everything starts to reflect the work you have been doing within yourself. The most profound aspect of alignment is the balance it brings between effort and surrender. You do your part by working hard, staying disciplined, and focusing on your growth. But you also surrender the need to control outcomes. You stop chasing approval, you stop forcing timing, and you stop trying to make things fit where they do not belong. Instead, you trust that your dedication is enough, and that life will reward you when the time is right. Alignment is the harmony between your inner world and your outer reality, and it becomes possible the moment you stop scattering your energy and stay fully committed to your journey